This is the Data Privacy Detective. And today, in our video recording of episode 181 of Data Privacy Detective, we're going to jump right into it with my regular good friends and colleagues, Yugo Nagashima and Brion Amour, on three developments from August 2024. Let's start with you, Yugo. What happened in the Netherlands?
Sure. Uber was fined 290 million euros. That's approximately $324 million of fines for transferring personal data of European drivers, Uber drivers, to the US servers, violating the GDPR. The allegation was this: Uber transferred personal information of European drivers, including ID documents, tax licenses, criminal records, sensitive data, to the United States over a 2-year period. And the Dutch Data Protection Authority claimed that Uber failed to appropriately safeguard the data transfer to the US because Uber didn't have a standard contractual clause in place, instead relied on the EU-US Data Privacy Shield, not the new data privacy framework. More details will come during the audio cast. Back to you, Joe.
Very important stuff. Brion, how about Minnesota? What happened about Minnesota and data privacy in August?
Yes. So Minnesota, joined the party. So not the last state, but, kind of following a trend of kind of tracking towards the laws we've seen coming out of California from the CCPA back in 2018. Minnesota's not really an outlier. So they're kind of tracking with a large number of the more recent laws that we've been seeing. A couple key differences. This will apply to the universities, and it also does apply to nonprofits, which is kind of a different trend from what we were seeing. But the new law does not apply to small businesses, provided they're not selling the data. So I think it'll be interesting to see as we continue down this track of just another state as opposed to having federal privacy law.
Yeah, now we have about a third of the states have their own code. We'll see someday if we get a federal code. Wouldn't it be helpful? Anyway, the third thing we're talking about in August is data brokers. Not so much news, but two big things happened. One is what some have called the biggest data breach in history. I covered that in episode 180. Tune in to that. But it's followed by a call to action by a member of the Forbes Technology Council saying, look, data brokers are really not regulated. They hold vast amounts of our information. With this huge data breach, which was based on a hack of a data broker's entire database that's revealed over 100 million U.S. Social Security numbers and being sold on the dark web. What is now the news is data brokers are under the spotlight now on how should they be regulated, holding the vast amounts of our information that they do. How do you balance e-commerce and that? And what can you do once your personal information has been shared to get a driver's license or to open a bank account? How can we have control over our personal data over time? So two big events have conspired to put data brokers in the spotlight. The game is on for data brokers. That's the news. Tune in to our audio podcast that follows these three big developments in greater detail. Episode 181. Data Privacy Detective.